Although the crypto markets have been performing beautifully as a whole, Render token has been outshining the rest, and you absolutely love to see it. My name's Royce Jacob, and welcome back to Waves Capital. You guys, Render, our number one, is on a rampage. We're currently up 26% in the past 24 hours alone, and I think it's pretty much inevitable that we see $3 by the weekend. I'm actually recording this on Wednesday. I will be posting it on Thursday. So, it could happen sooner. If it's at $3, if Render is sitting at $3 or above, let me know in the comments down below. The sooner the better, okay? Don't have to practice patience here. So, Render, of course, we'll be talking price action. I want to zoom out on the charts here and kind of reiterate the Christmas targets that I discussed in my last video. Those still hold true, but now I'm just that much more confident in them. But prior to that, I do want to read over some of the facts from Render's recent migration from the Ethereum blockchain to the Solana blockchain. We'll read over a few key points here. I'll share a few of my personal thoughts on this migration, on the shift, and why I believe that this is ultimately better for Render in the long run. So let's get to reading, and then of course we'll reference price because that's the real fun part, right? Okay, so Render Network Upgrade Portal FAQ. The Render Network Foundation is facilitating the upgrade from ETH to Sol for the technical architecture of the Render Network. The Render Network Foundation has put together these frequently asked questions for the community to have clear and official answers. Why is Render upgrading to Solana? Our community voted for the move in RMP 001. Solana was chosen as it is faster, cheaper, and able to handle the broad vision of the Render Network. How does the upgrade process work? Step-by-step instructions can be found at the Render Network. You guys can just go to the rendernetwork.com or rendernetwork.com. And you'll find this. You can read it over for yourself because we're not going to be reading over everything else here as well. So if you want to read over this whole thing, if you're a long-time holder, if you have a meaningful stake relative to you, then go read this. I do recommend that. Okay, so are my tokens being burned? The Render Network Upgrade Portal will upgrade or burn your Render for Render. How will Render Network pay my gas fees? Will the Render Network pay my gas fees? My apologies. Yes, the Render Foundation will be covering upgrade gas fees for every ETH wallet captured as of October 30th, 2023 that has Render tokens. Gas fees will be repaid on a weekly basis. How do I know this is safe? The Render Foundation has collaborated with Auditor Security, best-in-class auditors who have reviewed the bridge code. Ensure you are the proper URL for your upgrade at all times, as scams can be rampant. Okay, so once again, you guys, if you want to know more about this, just go check out Render and read into this for yourself. But in my opinion, kind of as that said, and also, just a little heads up, did cover this just after it happened almost a week ago now. So, of course, we'll shoot out the newsletter after this. Shout out the newsletter after this. But ultimately, I do trust their decision to do this. Solana is faster and cheaper than Ethereum, so it should be a good move in the long run. Honestly, I didn't even know it said that right there, so it was almost completely unnecessary to read. But ultimately, my decision, this is a good move. Solana is just, it's been described, and I've probably said this at some point in time as well. It's ETH 2.0. It is just a morph. It's the technology is newer. Ether is the original base chain. Ether has the name. They have the brand, I'd say. They have the second. They're silver to Bitcoin's gold. But when it comes to longevity and actually scaling a project, especially one that will consume so much bandwidth like Render, and some microtransactions like Render, it's important that you have the infrastructure to build that upon, and Solana is clearly the better play for that. Okay, so you can see here as well on the 9th, I did say, I still believed we'll be seeing $3 by the end of the month, even after that little flash crash we saw around the 8th, 9th, and right now it's looking pretty damn good. Okay, so Render token, again, you can see here up in, just pretty much today, the past 24 hours alone, up nearly 30%. Love to see that, leading the markets higher. And you can see a little call there, featured that in the newsletter. Also, forgot that I need to shout out the newsletter. If you guys want my daily takes on Render, again, I'll be uploading this tomorrow. But after I finish this, I'll be writing about Render in my newsletter. So if you want my multiple newsletters, if you want my trade alerts, if you want to know how I was able to take over $10,000 in pure profits on some of my options positions, if you're into options, if you want to know literally how I'm trading on a day-to-day basis in every single position in my entire portfolio, then that's the first link in the description. Everything I just mentioned, you can get for $15 a month, $40 for every 3 months. Try free even. If you don't like it, just unsubscribe. But the good times are back, and I definitely trust you guys will be sticking around. So if so, then welcome to Waves Capital. Welcome to the winning team. If not, then you're a loss. But I still appreciate you watching this video. Okay, Render, zooming out here. Render is approaching kind of what I would perceive to be my first real bounce target, which is the line of broken support. Let's go to daily candles. It looks a little less congested, okay? So Render is quickly approaching the line of prior support that I believe would come into play as new resistance. We broke below that in mid-July. Have been seeing, it was some rough times in September, in August, September, like many growth stocks as well. But the comeback is live. Bitcoin's looking strong. I covered Bitcoin in the video I just recorded this before this that you guys may have seen yesterday. But the first target is going to be this cyan line right here, blue line, which is the line of long-term broken support that I believe will come into play as new resistance. Okay, that's going to be just above $3. $3 also a psychological even. If you need some liquidity, if you want to buy some other tokens, then maybe $3 is the place to do it because there is that psychological even along with that line of broken support that I believe will come into play as new resistance once again. But ultimately, I do think Render reclaims this channel. I do think that, honestly, at the very least, given the momentum, we jumped 25% in a single day, okay? To this target of conservative, and I'll actually make like this absolute line of resistance as well, which now seems more likely to me by Christmas, if I'm being completely honest. We'll make it like right there, okay? So let's make that, we'll just make that red, okay? So I do think that at the very least by Christmas, Render will test my top line of conservative top line of resistance on this hopefully will reclaim this ascending channel. So if that happens by Christmas, that would take us up to 390, just under $4, about 39% from here. Again, 24 hours, we climb 25%. It's going to be easy enough to climb 40% over the next month and a half. So I do think we'll be approaching at least $4 by Christmas. And ultimately, I think the more likely scenario now that there's so much momentum behind the markets, if you didn't watch the video I posted yesterday, go watch that to know why from a fundamental like macro perspective. But I think that Render could be sitting around $4.50 by Christmas. I think that's a lot more likely than $4. And the bull market's back. The good times are back. I can confidently say that. And I'm really excited for the months and really the year ahead of us for Render token. Okay, so that's the video, you guys. Just let me know if you're stoked down in the comments below. And, I look forward to riding some waves with you guys. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.